Welcome to the Midday News on Osbc TV. My name is Tajuddin Amodu. The military has again warned against plans to sabotage the handover of power to the president-elect Bola Tinubu on May 29th. The High Command said the armed forces were on standby and will ensure a smooth transition process scheduled to take place in 24 days. The Director of Defense, Midday Operations, Major General Musa Damadami, handed down the warning as the former military head of state, Yakubu Gowon, advised candidates challenging the outcomes of the last election to accept the court verdict. Damadami cautioned came a month after the Director of Defense Information, Brigadier General Tukur Gusau, vowed that the military would resist anything that could truncate democracy in the country. Also, Chief of Army Staff Lieutenant General Farouk Yahya had threatened to crack down on potential threats to national security and warned the indigenous people of Biafra, Eastern Security Network and other fringe groups not to test the will of the military. The suspended Adamawa State Resident Electoral Commissioner Udu Yunus Ahari, who is currently being probed by the police, has had his passport seized as part of the conditions for his administrative bail, while he has also been restricted to the Federal Capital Territory. It is also gathered that a senator stood surety for Yunus Ahari, who was interrogated and detained for 3 days at the force headquarters. Also released are 2 commissioners of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and other officials undergo interrogation at the force headquarters, Lewis-headed House in Abuja, in connection with the controversy surrounding the April 15 supplementary election in Adamawa. The INEC commissioner and other officials under probe are also mandated to deposit their passports and are currently restricted to Abuja while on administrative bail. The indicted officials, including Yunus Ahari, are grilled by the police, election planning, monitoring and evaluation team headed by the Assistant Inspector General of Police and head of Interpol Nigeria, Garba Huma, and other members of the police management team, including the Inspector General of Police, Usman Baba. Nigerians have applauded the move by the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, to prosecute electoral offenders. Legal practitioners who spoke in an interview with Osbc News, however, urged the commissioner to ensure that cases are tried to a logical conclusion. Oluchi Yamuda has more on the story.
In its electoral journey. Speaking with Osbc News on the resolve of the electoral body to prosecute the over 200 persons arrested for various electoral offences during the recently concluded general elections, a legal practitioner, Mr. Tunde Babashola, stated that the best time to commence legal action against those caught violating the electoral law is now, saying that justice delayed is justice denied. Mr. Babashola urged INEC not to pay lip service to the prosecution of the electoral offenders so as to serve as deterrence to others.
If electoral offenders are prosecuted according to law, the laws are already there. If you do this, if you do that, the laws are there. It's just that the laws are they are not operational, that the laws are in abeyance. But if INEC wakes up to its responsibility now, from now on, to try electoral offenders, and not to try them only, but to try them on time, because delay can also lead to injustice. So when they are prosecuted early enough, it will serve as a great deterrent for others. You will see that by the time INEC start prosecuting electoral offenders, you will see that the menace or challenges of people fomenting trouble during elections, snatching ballot boxes and so on, and probably attacking people, you will see that it will stop. And if it will not totally stop, at least it will be reduced to the barest minimum. It's a good omen.
Speaking in the same vein, another legal practitioner, Mr. Bukola Onefade, maintained that the only way to strengthen Nigeria's democracy is to ensure that those whose actions or inactions are detrimental to the success of the country's democracy get the punishment they deserved under the law.
If this is coming to play, that shows we are making progress in our electoral process. because many people who have committed electoral offence one way or the other go scot-free without being punished. So this will not discourage others who have intention of doing the same. But with the present, with what the INEC is saying, let's wait and see what will come out of it. And from there, I think Nigeria will be making progress in our electoral system.
It will be recalled that the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) had announced its readiness to prosecute the over 200 persons arrested for various electoral offences. The report says already Nigerian Police Force has transferred over 50 case files of electoral offences to INEC. Oluchi Amuda, Osbc News.
Without passports had been instructed to stay back. The official added that 2 students without any of the documents were impatient and joined their colleagues, adding that Egyptian authorities are angry and ordered that all students should be taken back to Sudan to get needed permits. All students that have passports are allowed to move to the Egyptian airport, and those that do not have the passport are asked to wait behind to be issued a formal document for them to travel. The flag officer in charge of the Eastern Naval Command, Rear Admiral Olushola Oluwagbere, had warned sea pirates operating in the waterways to steer clear or be ready to be smoked out by force. He gave the warning during his maiden inspection of bays and units of the Naval Command in NNS Jubilee at the Ikot Abasi local government area. He urged the commander to reject the operations of the command and ensure that the boats are out there for effective coverage of waterways. The flag officer in charge, who urged the command to be more alert as they were always been doing, calling on the public to give the command useful information that will be useful in apprehending the criminal elements in the society. And now to sports. Linus Lewis has urged Anthony Joshua to avoid any damage in a warning against fights against Deontay Wilder. Joshua is in line to face Wilder in December in Saudi Arabia following positive talks between the camps. It will finally bring an end to years of debates after failed talks for the pair to fight in the past. But British boxing legend Lewis believes AJ is best off leaving the bouts on the shelf for his own good. Joshua, who is 33 years, beat Jermaine Franklin, 29 years, in his April return in what Eddie Hearn hoped would be the first in the trio bouts in 2023. But that plan faced the knockout when organizers in the Middle East launched negotiations for AJ to face Wilder, who is 37 years old, at the end of the year. And on the foreign scene, leaders of the indigenous people of the Commonwealth have signed a letter urging King Charles III of the United Kingdom to apologize for the horrific impact of colonization. They also urged the King to launch a compensation mechanism for the indigenous people of the Commonwealth. The letter, titled Apology, Reparation and Repatriation of Artifacts and Remains, was issued 48 hours before the monarch's coronation and brought together indigenous leaders of 12 Commonwealth countries. All countries include Antigua and Barbuda, New Zealand, Australia, the Bahamas, Belize, Canada, and Grenada. Others are Jamaica, Papua New Guinea, St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Lucia, and St. Vincent, as well as the Grenadines. The letter also demanded return of all cultural treasures and artifacts to the countries of their origin, as well as the repatriation of all remains currently held in UK museums and institutions. It also urged the UK royal family to adopt renunciation of the doctrine of discovery, following in Pope Francis' footsteps. And that ends the Midday News on Osbc TV. It was edited by Michael Adeni. Join us at 3 for the State News. Good afternoon.